fancy game na ya hwe ni sisi ano Liverpool mu ni other clubs no they are top there or they are big boys, they can call the shots, players will fight for them. Any other club competing with Newcastle for this particular signing of Benjamin Sesko, fancy aka Benjamin Sesko a player at the Newcastle United. Newcastle are 48 hours ultimatum, and then know what I say hours in a so tiba na day ever by the close of today. Why is it that Newcastle are making two solid bets? Bako wabede 70 plus 10. Bako wako bede 80 plus 10 in terms of euros.
Yes, a bro
didn't a player no, he's still yet to come out and say me joining Newcastle
because of train man you
assembling no it will show one nubu. If Newcastle wants to sell Alexander Isak, obi adwen ben says can no the person mo ton free omunya free Isak ho no and no person mo kofa Benjamin Sesko ne visa de ne ba Newcastle United. But fancy odo mu mienu two on the scale ni nyoma no mo ye ni nyina na me kade if there's one team in England akoton kese bia o san kokofo afro bia de ba bia kese bia Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton and Hove Albion ton McAllister say 30 meboa oton Moses Caicedo say and omo player bia no one more team ni more less than 30 million pounds. Brighton and Hove Albion team there that one. But no matter how much they sell a player, they don't go for a direct replacement when it comes to fancy value of these two players. I don't know, Newcastle here said they are going in for a player not in terms of but in terms of high potential and equal value. For now, there is not even an assurance that next season Newcastle will be top 4 or top 5. Because I know what I say. Rank or top 4 or top 5 Premier League clubs. This is in a in no particular order. In no particular order, I will definitely put City in there.
Yeah.
In no particular order, I will put Liverpool in there. In no particular order, may the Chelsea be shame in no particular order, may the Arsenal. In no particular order, may Aston Villa so kakra. United more actually. It Newcastle baby original say Benjamin Sesko na be bridge gap so bet me remu to the top 4 na. It is desperation. And I'm a Newcastle. Try so omobe prove a point at the actual their fans. Whatever Manchester United is doing in the transfer market, is annoying for some people. A mania time, Sebi, towards some people. But me, I'm a TA. I am a desert Manchester United. I approach the transfer market with this ideology. Say, until say player, Ebedia Tums will be see a Manchester United. No, they won't bid. Because and Mguasi and Fataka and over Manchester United, I did see between Omone Frankie Dion deal. No, any issues a pay free mobile or lose Manchester United. I can Darwin Nunez and Akomeah. It's not now one yes. But now they are insisting. Cunha accepted to play for United. Man United agreed personal terms with Cunha before bidding to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Man United any Mbomo issue. Man United agreed personal terms. Emma Mbomo stated factually clear to Brentford say Omono kodi obi esika mfama. Manchester United na no ede. Okay. Manchester United will go length and breadth. Some babeto do wako. At the end of the day, Mutua 70 say 1. That is the same thing Manchester United wants to do around Leipzig. Any Benjamin Sesko issue no. But Otia Dinidia Benjamin Sesko so Leipzig for no so pebeden war. Because Germany for they want to maximize their profit. And fancy, omu person mujina a certain position that they can demand for other players. Now Leipzig issue ni next season Champions League issues no man team can qualify. They will need to do a lot to make sure some team recoup a lot of money. Now in recouping a lot of money, omu top 3 players are also omu ton omu Benjamin Sesko, Xavi Simons, and Alois Openda.
Yes.
Now, there is a reason why Leipzig is making things difficult for Chelsea when it comes to Xavi Simons. And there's a reason why Omar relax on Lois Openda. Baby Leipzig be agree fee de di kan bia no. Leipzig be use that particular fee e de agina so aka say wo fa bi ka de no ho. If Leipzig should accept the 90 million euros by Newcastle United for Benjamin Sesko, Chelsea need Javi Simons here no on betwim kakra. Not that Javi Simons will not play for Chelsea, but betwim kakra. I yirim kakra because financially, baby omubejina na ebe far better than when na omonton Benjamin Sesko when negotiating with Chelsea when it comes to Javi Simons. What open Lois open the bian in terms of the hour who's Sunderland for the number almost open. Say nay, Sir Benjamin Sesko no so corner and Sunderland na bepa. Baby omujina in terms of their position is can be osro. It's omonton farm out. It is the opposite. If Leipzig should also sell Javi Simons, no musunya fee no more from Chelsea when it comes to Javi Simons, they will also be in a better position to say Sir Benjamin Sesko pay this or nothing. Akoda kasa onya na adwe so be pressure Leipzig am omo jahodi akọ. But the biggest problem now is Newcastle are not only fighting Manchester United, but they are also fighting Christopher Vivel. Ono and leading the charge. Emma mo kofa abrantie we mani be piem wo Leipzig, e mani be si akan e Red Bull. On a dear trade mine a copy by to say whenever Chelsea wants to do a deal, not a deal, no player, no a former player, Chelsea academy sporting director see and a conform mobile, it proves easily for them. For example, Helavia deal no, she other deals be attached. Even Pedro Modi on them Brighton and Hove Albion, Stanley Muneko for Fasanko for in buy. Now when they move into the deal, the discussion becomes easy. That is the most difficult part. Now, Sesko Susu Suroso Obeka say, hey, me per Manchester United. Because the moment he mentions Manchester United or mentions another club, meaning that particular tagger, I want a contract, he say, when a special club comes, clause, no, it be reduced by 10 million euros as compared to what a Newcastle Aberdeen is saying, no, a bit trigger. So it's all about Leipzig maximizing the opportunity in terms of the market value of the player, no. Number two, Sesko also doesn't want to do anything to hurt Leipzig. And at the same time, Manchester United doesn't also want to bid. Abramunya definitely yes. Prove to Sesko say, yay, you whisker, yaba, you discount to Multiamia Fanko. I think the next 6 to 7 hours will prove very vital. Say Sesko Nyaka yes, chair Manchester United. Leipzig are not getting the 90 million euros. She said the pressure be kono so pa ko be fa so a obe pre no ho wetimi anya resource no de afi odi akọ. Interesting to see the things that is going to happen. But fancy in the same market Newcastle for no I tried to sell Alexander Isak for 150 million pounds. Liverpool already so betimi atwe scar but e bia add-ons ni bebre e be easily achievable add-ons. A very difficult ones. Now, in the transfer domain, how you treat others determines how you are going to be treated. In this instance, you believe Liverpool so omobo so be koni easy say also car bona no matam said they won Leipzig ye. No mo so times can picture no mo dia bro. Oh, training this is the second day he's training. But I believe say Newcastle should accept who they are. Accept the money. Go into the market, get midfielders. Senya Sesko kra na another striker bi and say omakodilo bi de obi aba akolo mo animu kra na so mo anya na they should do some things and do a lot of work around their team because they are not there yet. And no me Liverpool team ni di any game now no mo born na me bisa mo say hey Alexander Isak be ka team we say one fancy dey rebesity akọ
say they solid.
And you look at me medical be catch say Hugo Ekitike, he's not a bad player. But now say catch say I have no problem with the quality and potential. But maybe issue here say you don't criticize what you can do in the future, which say a term. Okay, say be another teams be to akese now they will seek out there be a term. Now what are we? It's about how Akolani be deliver. Now I was looking at how flexible Liverpool's attacking quartet. No more enra. So meka attacking quartet meka say about the front four. Florian Wirtz number 10. Cody Gakpo, left attacking midfielder. Mohamed Salah, right attacking midfielder. Then Hugo Ekitike as the center forward. Now, me describe these 4 players we are interchangeably on the field of play. One key component in their game was their link up. 2 movement, 3 understanding. Now fancy ore omo 4 no wani mu honom na I think baby a adwuma wo ho kakra no beba na se bebem kakra no how omo link up capacity, but I think understanding the football knowledge is there. Intelligence no ho ekitike proved to be very intelligent and penny movement bi na wo drop it GP beje ball 1-2 moving into space shot across Mosala go. Movement is not a problem, but the link up as to how on a Kodigapo, on a Flow and Vet, on the Mohamed Salah will do a lot of things and make sure some media create enough chances, it will come game after game. So imagine this particular setup of Liverpool. Now Omo, then they decide say be I am a Flow and Vet compage na home ya kitike woni Isak mbebo ani mutu. And I say be kura Kodigapo konche kitike bra wings. Alexander Isak, I think the whole vision is clear alongside this particular Liverpool team. They don't want to be predict when they come into games. Outlining a specific phase of their game, say, and they are ball with a long strike, and I say, call long balls to an old-fashioned number 9 in the shape of Obi to set that Nunes. Pem Fatuo, Fayese. They want to be flexible in the attack. They want to be also more fire a lot up front, almost stretching your defense so well and make sure that you leave a lot of spaces in behind.
1.3
and it was the perfect example for what they wanted to do. So Omunya Alexander Isak the nekoka team no fancy I think say any more firepower na no be pa. But baby I may also one more pa na say to Isak 150 million pounds. But I think Liverpool also need a centre back.
I'm saying almost so many now be an so man to be a makeshift for no Raffenberg base me about Wataru Endo.
You don't take risk like that if you want to win the league. Again. Transfer market in common and one club I you. And they be a catch say and your best at the Premier League in Premier or favorite Manchester City. Because they've proven it. In recent times, City have got 2 seasons without winning the league. Under Pep Guardiola. City got 2 seasons without winning the league now. So, in a nutshell, you are competing against that team. Number 2, Arsenal as Hakofa, Mosquera, Munina, they become centre backs no more. No, they are strengthening every phase of their team apart from Momoso attack. And even with the attack, Momoso have a story be so about a left winger. Mebaho. But as it stands, every single team in the Premier League is trying to make sure any defense no be me, including Chelsea. From the club walk up to the league, don't underrate Chelsea coming into the league.
Wontumi,
because last season almost started so well. Unfortunately, in the second half or second part of the season, and your match has a team form, and almost so strengthening key positions within their setup. You need a centre back at all costs. In the current market, why ana Liverpool nyana ebeboa? At what price? The value of players within this market. But trust you me, come fast we players BPA, coffee be mo buy no, they are ready to spend. And even if they get Isak and they decide to go in for another centre back, good for them. But I think league no person mojia, they will need to get more centre backs that will be able to compete players be to say Virgil van Dijk. And Kunate, Gomez, they are good, but I don't think they are good enough because I'm not giving this na Van Dijk here. This doesn't mean on start next game and as a game set to us.
Van Dijk there,
what I say, it doesn't mean on start. He will start, but a player like Kunate, who and you might difficult for him to extend his contract. Discussions in than CP. Then you realize the opportunity. Say, no, let me go into the market, try and get another centre back or a top. Bring him in. Your rotating squad a B bought the Champions League. Now a B bought the Premier League will have enough quality to compete on all 4 fronts. You don't leave loopholes because from their goalkeeping position they are okay. Fancy Alison Bekana or Mama Dashville, you are okay.
And I say Mama Dashville is so down.
Or Dago brutal. So you look at these 2 solid goalkeepers, Oba right backer, and they Jeremy Frimpong or Bradley Moore. Even Joe Gomez can even play in that particular position. Oba left backer, Chimikas, Robertson. And was a family Kekes denied. Edenaba. But at the centre back role, you can't be making makeshift like Wataru Endo. Because in certain games, they will target him. In certain games, they will target him. And I think so they will need to move in to get a proper centre back that can come and compete the likes of Joe Gomez, Money Boys now. But I think Liverpool are also giving us something afresh in terms of a new project. And then why I could have to always say, "Oh, Mako fan de na baso besi akambe hadrin." In selling Luis Diaz, the discussion and what Bontini Nani say, who is going to be the replacement for Luis Diaz? Don't want to say Alexander Isak 150, but I don't see Alexander Isak as the replacement for Luis Diaz. Because the level of intensity and quality of Luis Diaz the man, you need players who offer something closer, not exactly like him. A profile like Luis Diaz. Sanke cannot quite akakodiga pomunya bit my boy free rings there,
yeah.
But the level of intensity, Luis Diaz, not the man Liverpool. And then the ability to track back and help Liverpool, no, difficult. One akofano, ebiso mo kofa Rodrigo, ebiso mo kofa way, ebiso mo kofa way. But as it stands, Liverpool are beginning to find a solution internally. But the questions we are going to ask ourselves, Diedi Kanyeni say, Akodano, are you capable of handling the pressure at the age of 16 years? Ngumoha, Rio,
one in Bob
brutal. The potential is stop there.
Or Chelsea Academy na senior players no crab bona about offer baller
Debbie.
A Gen Hazard more line bia.
But baby I'm me free banner say we England for nkoda ni bia. Wo sha se all body ba. Yeni mo musuban kakra. Yeni se ni decent Nigeria obetima kosi aka ndia mo sa ne mani na. But this is akoda otna ye wo no London. Onyini wo England. You can classify him as a proper player who has been nurtured into the culture of English players. From under 15, Abba, the Abidjan baby, Odina, and Obetima replacing Luis Diaz. Obetima rely on his quality, so Obetima consistent performances match after match. Oh, yeah, 16 years. The only thing I will say is a Liverpool supporters should manage their expectations around Akodano. Also, potential no also. The likes of Barcelona and Mbama could have that chance. But I don't many Ajadiama could have win as a fancy. Wabeto a certain team more experience room.
Yes.
Akabebianka obeto team more ka mbenya kobebre. But the environment is okay for the development.
Boy, when you can say Liverpool, yes, woman.
The environment is okay for the development.
Because say Lami Yama, Mudiani BNA.
But Yama can also
of your bench. Yama first.
Yama can also be top as a team.
Yeah.
Now I'm say how near Titene
at bench about later about
because the difference is Yama be top Barcelona team one. I fancy us at that time the team was not that good. And Xavi Hernandez and they were still trying to work things out and make sure some media results. But when I be to team one, you still have the likes of Van Dijk, Alisson Becker, Mohamed Salah, Cody Gakpo, Alexis McAllister, fancy who are big boys who are dressing room, you could only become better. Cristiano Ronaldo became who he became at Manchester United because there was a certain Paul Scholes, there was a certain Ryan Giggs, there was a certain maybe Ray Ferdinand, there were certain players within the dressing room, Ruud van Nistelrooy. There were senior players who were tested and proven at every single level. And on much there, Ronaldo nyoma bebre what dressing room nim MNA otimi humble on self benya results onyae we obey humble because untimi rad dressing room o ko diga po ni sala wo ho na wo ma wa beti so. The mistake at Manchester United mo ye bi no na Garnacho di boy esudwe ni bi no because in the dressing room fancy can crane nyame anim no krepa we Marcus Rashford ne Bruno Fernandes mo no mo bogos pa wenga be pa na no team no no tretre Alejandro Garnacho Sancho so abeni na mo so oba mama na beti so but with this guy in the dressing room there's a proper leadership within the dressing room to help him develop omunya abotrema no solid potential and of far Bobby call fast so the ball running by off the bench 10 minutes 20 minutes I want to see him do well. I'm not saying say Obabe to say Yaman as over world class football. They are set a level of uncertainties, but I'm rest assured say his potential is up there. Potential there, and I'm happy say now after Alexander Trent Arnold, Yawa or Liverpool come as an academy player. Despite the fact that he was bent on leaving to Real Madrid or Muskebiano, there's another academic graduate. Meaning say Elliot Mo or Curtis Jones Mababe Fifem, they are Bradley Mo Bobo Bia Bafansi. He moves like Mbappe. Like he moves like Mbappe.
Born qua Charlie.
Can I think he moves
Chiancasa? And yet, no born on Ode. So when you're Washington, youth cinema. Again, Hazard Moody or Chian or
brutal.
War pass 1-2
brutal. But the thing is, manage your expectations. Akla was 16 years, is you show a lot of potential. The most difficult thing at the Biame catcher say Abrabo Mubet managed to remain at the top. Fancy. Now, what team are working away into Liverpool first 11 senior team. Now it's about keeping himself in the senior team in the first place. Then from keeping himself no be a starter. Then from being a starter, fancy he's going to become a decider for the team. Stages. As to sort of cross it from one stage to another, no fancy Emre and Krabia and Bechre. Nobody can determine. Football, you know, very important. One, discipline and how to keep yourself fit. We are disciplined, I fit, I'll be to me the achieve Emre and a Bechre. But assistance, let me congratulate him. Say what me are working the way into the senior team of Liverpool. It is not easy, especially